Hello everybody, I'm back and I have great news. I finally got my bag back from Paris, France. It was lost there for a couple of days, so that's really cool. But that's not going to be the only thing that we're going to be talking about here today. Today we're going to be talking about Season 5 of Deep Rock Galactic, which will be coming in the somewhat near future, I guess, and Deep Rock Galactic Rouge Core, which is the new Deep Rock Galactic game, which I got to play while I was over in Denmark visiting with the Ghost Ship guys. Again, special thanks to Ghost Ship for flying us out there. It was a lot of fun going out there. It was really cool getting to test out the game. It was super fun talking with everybody. And if you want more of the experience of that, I made a different video. It will be linked hopefully in the description below. And hopefully there'll be a card up here somewhere, so that'll take you right to that if you would like to see kind of the summarization of what we did throughout there. So first up, let's talk about Deep Rock Galactic Season 5. Ghost Ship was also nice enough to send me a bunch of stuff like this. So I've got a coffee mug, a shirt that has the dwarfs on it, which is really cool. Yeah. They only had like two sizes, which was a double X and a triple X, and I'm a very short person, so I usually wear like a small or a medium, but I'm definitely going to be keeping this as like a night shirt. I also got some other things from them too, so that's pretty cool. Let me just put that right over here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, sure. That's still season frame. Awesome. So let's talk about Season 5, and let's talk about Rouge Core. I'm going to have to talk about this in a very broad sense, though, because we weren't under any sort of NDAs, so there was no non-disclosure agreements. But at the same time, Mikkel, the lead game director, said, like, don't announce anything before we announce it, because there's a lot of stuff that is very subject to change. But we can still go over what was announced in Season 5, and I can at least give my initial impressions of Rouge Core. So let's talk about Season 5 first, since that one's going to be coming out first, and then we'll go over the Rouge Core stuff. So as for Season 5, this is going to be the prelude to Rouge Core. That was announced a while ago. That's why Rouge Core actually exists, because it kind of got away and became its own game. So this will give us kind of a teaser of what Rouge Core is going to be sort of themed about overall. There will be a new mission type, which did look really cool when I got to see some of that. I can't say what the mission type was, but as the description says, it will involve searching, so I hope that you guys enjoy searching for stuff. I think it's actually going to be really cool. And then there is also the new enemies that are going to be coming here, which, as the description says, some mobile, some stationary, and all keen to kill you. I can't say exactly how many enemies are here, or what type of enemies they are, but I can say that one enemy design in particular, actually kind of two enemy designs in particular, really stood out to me. One of them I think is one of my favorite looking designs that we've seen in Deep Rock, and I think it will fit in very well. And the other one stood out to me because it was still like kind of a placeholder thing, so there was already existing stuff that we've seen in Deep Rock before. This was the like skeleton of it without it having like a skin on, so I'm really curious to see what that's going to look like when it's actually completely done. Next, and one that a lot of people have really been looking forward to, is all the potential overclocks that we're getting. We're getting 12 additional overclocks, one for every single primary weapon for each class. So this is only the primary weapon, not the secondary weapons. So this will be things like the minigun, the autocannon, the GK2, Inji shotgun, stuff like that. I did get to see two of these that were being shown, but again, I can't say exactly what they were. There was a very large list of potential overclocks, though, that I did get to see for weapon overclocks that could be appearing in the game. And they were still testing a lot of these. A lot of them didn't have any sort of say on what type of overclock they would be, whether they'd be like a clean or balanced or an unstable. That would depend more on how much they wanted to tweak them, how much they wanted to change them, and how unique they wanted them to be. The two that I seen were pretty unique, so I would say that it's probably safe to assume that those two in particular would be either the unstable or balanced type of overclocks. But of course, things are always subject to change, and it will be really cool to see what they had there. A lot of the ideas that they had there sounded really awesome too. I did kind of like the one that we had seen and suggested a couple of things for, because everybody at Ghost Ship was super open to any sort of feedback and was asking us like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Which was super cool. It was really nice being able to talk to everybody just like that, and like all the suggestions, and basically everybody there just comes up with suggestions for potential things, so that includes things like overclocks. I'm really excited to see which ones they actually pick for that, because I think they're going to be a lot of fun, and I would love to test them out. I love testing out new overclocks as they come out. Then we have things like the new seasonal performance pass, which that's always going to be awesome. I mean, getting a free battle pass in Deep Rock is fantastic. It's really cool that we get all these different things. And we can now reactivate old seasons too, which sounds really awesome to me, especially if you haven't played the game for a while, or if you played the game at one point but then maybe stopped for a season or two. At least this way you can go back to those seasons and replay them and potentially unlock things a little bit quicker too, which is also going to help with the amount of potential like clutter that we have in things like loot crates. So that's pretty awesome to see. I don't think there's anything there I can really spoil because it's just going to be the already existing stuff in the game. New dance moves. I did get to see one of these, and Mike, the lead game designer, was just after we had told him that we had seen this one, his response was just to shake his head in disbelief. So that's always a good sign when your lead game designer does that. A couple other options we have are the new cosmetic filtering. This one was briefly talked about while we were there. Basically the same thing that we got from the dev stream. At least that's all I can remember. So it's just going to be a way to categorize all of your cosmetics a little bit easier so you can find them a little bit quicker. That'll help quite a bit. I enjoy that, especially with how many cosmetics we do have in Deep Rock now. Game optimization is obviously going to be very important if you are having issues with Deep Rock, because if you can't play the game, then any amount of game optimization is going to be good for you, or if it struggles on an older PC, then this one will help too. I don't know exactly what they're doing with this one, but I mean, any sort of game optimization is always going to be a good thing. I think Season 5 is going to be fantastic, and it will be a really cool teaser to Rouge Core. And speaking of Rouge Core, I did get to play that. I played it twice. We played two separate builds, sort of, two separate branches of the same build. I'm not exactly sure which one was which. They were modified between the days that we actually got to play there. And originally we split off into groups of 4. So we had 2 4-man groups trying out Rouge Core for the first time, trying out all of the new stuff, which is a lot of new stuff, and it's really cool. We got to see all of the art direction that was going on in Rouge Core, which I think looks fantastic. The sound design is also fantastic, as you would kind of expect from Ghost Ship. It has one of my favorite new animations in it, and some really cool mechanics in it that I really enjoyed. There were still a couple issues that we kind of brought up, and not all just issues, but some of it just being like sort of a learning curve. It's a new game. It doesn't play the same way as Deep Rock Galactic, although it is still built from Deep Rock Galactic, so expect it to feel similar to Deep Rock, but definitely be its own game, its own thing. So going at it the same way that you would at Deep Rock doesn't really work the same way. I know that's super vague, and it doesn't explain very much, but it is going to be its own separate game. It's going to feel uniquely different from Deep Rock Galactic. And that is really cool. I was absolutely hoping that it would feel quite a bit different, and it did. And I can't wait to see that when it is fully released and how many things have been changed from it. Because when we were playing it, there was still like various models in it that were fairly rough. They once again were kind of like skeletons without the skin on them. Not everything had all of its animations, so that was kind of entertaining to kind of see. And there was mechanics that are going to be in the game that we got to try out, but sometimes they broke in the game that we were playing. Again, we were on a very experimental version of the game, so there was a lot of stuff that will be changed in the future updates. I'm also really looking forward to Rouge Core coming out because I would like to play it more. Sadly, they took away mine and everybody else's Steam key to the demo, or to the super experimental branch of it. Oh, another kind of funny thing that happened while I was there at Ghost Ship is that since I couldn't really get into like my own Steam account or anything, because I have really long passwords and I don't like memorize them. Anyway, I got onto Mark's account, I believe, at Ghost Ship, or maybe it was one of their burner accounts that they had to test out the different builds and stuff, and I ended up joining the other people that were testing out Deep Rock Galactic Rouge Core that were upstairs actively trying out things. So technically I got to play Rouge Core like a couple of seconds before anybody else did because I accidentally joined the wrong lobby, and then kind of had to quit out and actually join the group that I was supposed to be playing with. So yeah, my very first impressions of Deep Rock Galactic Season 5 and Rouge Core, very optimistic about them, very much looking forward to them. Season 5 is going to be very fun, I think. There's going to be a lot of stuff to do. And then Rouge Core, definitely looking forward to. Definitely want to play more of it. Definitely want to try out some more stuff that was in it. Sorry if this video seemed extra vague. It kind of has to be that way for obvious reasons. So I hope you guys understand. If you guys do have any other questions, feel free to ask me. I'm not going to be saying anything specifically that we can't really talk about, like the overclocks, like the other things that are going to be in Season 5, like the enemies, like the things in Rouge Core. But if you would like to ask me about anything else that we did there in Denmark, or our trip over there, or meeting anybody in Ghost Ship, feel free to leave those down in the comments below. I would love to talk about them. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye, everybody!